As I often do in the morning, I peruse various Facebook mixing and mastering groups. This allows me to understand the current batch of misinformation that's passed around. It also allows me to give back to my profession by offering my perspective as someone with a body of successful work. Today, a poster was asking about transients, in particular whether there are any general parameters for how much transient should be in a final mix, and whether there's a way to measure those transients. They go on to ask if the mix will sound fuller if they reduce their transients with a compressor or a limiter. Apparently, they want that thick, full, loud, commercial MP3 sound. As it sometimes happens, I reacted with a veritable vomit rant of information that cuts through all the usual bullshit of sound, LUFS, and transients, along with the seemingly universal desire of conformity to mythical numbers, rather than to allow oneself to create art with confidence and disregard for what the crowd focused on audio might think. I'd like to share with you my response because I'm addressing the core of what successful music makers think about first and foremost. Here is my response. The limiter doesn't have to reduce the transients, that's a choice. Some records have pronounced transients, some records don't. If you think your record is better with pronounced transients, then do that. If you think it's better with limited flattened transients, then do that. These are artistic decisions. I can find a successful record in which just about any and every artistic decision has been made. There is no decision that doesn't have some sort of precedence. If you're listening to a small sliver of modern records and you want to make it sound like that, then that's a decision of strict adherence to trendiness within a specific subset of music. There's nothing all that artistic about that, and it doesn't separate you from the crowd. So I would recommend you make the music the way you hear it, in such a way that it serves the music, and forget about what others who have no involvement in your music believe is the single one way to make music that they haven't even heard. At the end of the day, your music will be successful if it causes a reaction. If the reaction you seek is to get people to dance, then make your decisions based on that. If the reaction you seek is to get people to sing, then make your decision based on that. If you want people to cry, then focus on that. Make the music cause you to react the way you want it to cause others to react. Then, see if there's an audience for it. You have to understand, 99% of the advice that you read on these groups comes from others who are also desperately seeking success. There is surely value in sharing ideas between novices, but without success, they aren't in a position to advise you, especially since they have no involvement in your music, which makes their advice at all times generic, regurgitated without context, and therefore useless. The longer you make records, the more you realize there's only one core requirement to success. Make a record that causes people to feel a certain way. Make a record that causes a reaction. The only decisions that matter are the decisions towards that end. Everything else is just a distraction. Thanks for joining me today, and now back to your regularly scheduled broadcast. Mixer Man.